Here we'll look at transformations on exponential functions and what they do to the graphs. The graphs of exponential functions can be transformed in numerous ways. They can be translated or shifted vertically or horizontally. They can be reflected, or they can be stretched or shrunk. These changes are all achieved based on what we do to the function itself, whether we add or multiply, or both, the base or the exponent by a constant. So first, let's take a look at how we shift an exponential function. If we want to shift an exponential function vertically, what we're going to do is add a constant to the function itself. So an exponential function in its basic form, f of x equals b raised to the x power, if we take the function f of x equals b raised to the x power and add a constant, that will shift the function up c units. So whatever constant value gets added, that is how many units it will shift up. However, if I subtract c units from that same function, so if I have f of x equals b to the x minus c, then I will shift down c units. So if I shift up c units, I am adding the constant c. If I shift down c units, I am subtracting the unit c. To shift horizontally, I am going to take my function f of x equals b to the x, and I am going to add c units to the exponent, not to the base itself. And that is going to shift my function to the left c units. It shifts in the opposite direction, you might think. If I want to shift to the right, I will subtract c. So a shift to the right, c units would be the exponent minus c. So notice that the difference here is where those c units are being added. So in this case, c units is being added to the base or to the entire function, but in this case, I am adding to the exponent. That's where the change is happening. Look back here at what I wrote down. I said when I subtract c, I go c units to the right, okay? So let's take a look at a transformation of using a shift. Let's look at f of x equals 3 to the x, and let's obtain the graph of f of x equals 3 to the x minus 1. So we are making a shift of minus 1. So we're going to move to the right 1 unit. All right, so this graph causes this graph to shift this direction, so to the right 1 unit. So we're going to shift to the right 1 unit. All right, so I'm going to go 1 unit to the right. So that means essentially what I'm going to do is I am going to take every point that I have on my original graph, and I'm going to shift it 1 unit to the right. So this is actually quite simple. I'm just going to take every x coordinate and I am going to shift it. I'm going to add 1 to it. So that just means add 1 to each x coordinate. So the first x coordinate that I have So this one right here, this is the graph that we did earlier. This x-coordinate is -1, 1/3. You might not know what that is. I'll just tell you what that one is. The middle one, we know what that one is 1 or 0, 1. And this one is 1, 3. All right, so in order to get my new coordinates, so this are my original right here, and my new coordinates are going to be +1 to get my new x-coordinates. So I'm going to add 1, which means my new coordinates are going to be 0, and I'm not going to change my y-coordinates at all. I'm only shifting my x-coordinates. So if I add 1 here, this one's going to be a 1, 1. And if I add 1 here, this one's going to be 2, 3. So my new graph is going to be at 0, 1/3, at 1, 1, and at 2, 3. And then I can just sketch that graph. Remember, it's just a sketch. And now it has shifted 1 unit to the right. I can also reflect the exponential function with a change. If I change the sign of my base, I can reflect about the x-axis. So if I have my original function, and instead of f of x equals b to the x, if I change it to f of x equals negative b to the x, then that is going to reflect f of x about the x-axis. However, if I have f of x and I change my exponent to a negative x, then that will reflect f of x about the y-axis. So let's just go ahead and take a look at how this changes the graph, and let's do this by just graphing them. Let's go ahead and plot f of x equals 3 to the x. So let's, in Desmos, let's put y equals 3 to the x and have that graph as our first graph. And then let's look at the change that it makes when we make it y equals negative 3 to the x. So y equals negative 3 raised to the x power. Notice how it's the same graph, just reflected over the x-axis. But if I take the same graph, and instead of having a negative 3, I have a negative x. Again, I have the same graph reflected over the y-axis. Next, we can talk about stretching and shrinking. And stretching and shrinking can happen vertically and it can happen horizontally, depending on where the change is applied, meaning if we apply it to the exponent or to the base. So let's take a look at each condition. If I apply the change to my base, so if I take my function and I say f of x equals c times b to the x, I will have a vertical stretch if c is greater than 1. So I'm going to have a vertical stretch if c is greater than 1. Now, if c is between 0 and 1, so if I have a fraction or decimal, then I'm going to have a vertical shrink. So if I have, let's see, vertical shrink, if c is between 0 and 1. All right, so it's important to note that just because the c is here, I am not always going to know, I'm not always going to have a stretch, or I'm not always going to have a shrink. I need to know whether the value of c is greater than 1 or whether it is between 0 and 1 to make that call. Now, if I apply that same rule but apply the value of c to the exponent, then I'm going to have a horizontal stretch or shrink. So if that c is applied to my exponent and c is greater than 1, then I will horizontally shrink. And then it will be a horizontal stretch if c is between 0 and 1. All right, so we kind of have to watch that because it works a little bit backwards just because we're on the exponent, and you need to make sure that you're looking to see what your number is and where it's applied to see whether you're stretching or shrinking and whether you're vertical or horizontal. All right, so let's take a look at how these changes cause vertical stretching and shrinking. So let's start again with the graph of f of x equals 3 to the x. So y equals 3 raised to the x power is our original graph. But if we take this graph and we increase our base by a multiple of, let's say, 4, so we are going to say y equals, and we don't need to write that 4, we can just make it 12 raised to the x. That is going to stretch c vertically. Notice how it stretches upward more vertically because it's a value greater than 1. Now, it's going to shrink it vertically if I make that a number that is cut in half. So if I say y equals, let's see, it's going to be 1.5. That's going to be my number, 1.5 here. Hold on, I need to move my graph here. Okay, there we go. I got it to work. It wasn't reacting for me. So what that did was it shrunk my slope. It's not as steep. So it laid it out a little further. So by cutting that base in half. All right, so let's take a look at a horizontal stretch and shrink. So I had to edit mine a little bit because I had copied and pasted and I had my stretch and shrink backwards there. So let me go ahead and add Desmos in. So the first one I'll plot is y equals 3 to the x. And then I'm going to put in y equals 3 raised to the 4x. And then let's put in y equals 3 raised to the 1/2 x. And you can see the difference in those graphs. You can see how it stretches and shrinks the graph.